Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Into the Infinite. I'm Charlie and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today I wanted to talk about self-love, self-talk, and creativity. Now, relative to creative blocks and how those can come up, we tend to think of self-talk in terms of affirmations, right? Like the quantity of behaviors like affirmations that you throw at a problem should, in theory, shift it or get it to disappear. But that doesn't always happen because the quality of conversation we have with ourselves all the time can be missing some very vital and fundamental components that really not only build love from in out, but that give us a way to listen without being defensive. Or like we're going to miss out on something because, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. We need to have, it's just this, breathe. It's okay. It's okay. So that's kind of where I wanted to come from with this. I thought of this in the context of a book that I read in 2014. It is called Talk to Me Like I'm Someone You Love. I'll hold it up so that you can get a screenshot or pause it and write the title down. But that is the title. And I read it and it appealed to me because it made declaring needs much easier. Now, in my 20s, I was going through this process of breaking down and building back up healthier communication patterns and habits and all of that stuff. So at the time, it was something that was kind of profound for me. And I've held on to the book because I find that it's still a good read through just to clarify and keep clearing blocks and things like that. So, because we're all a work in progress. There's no real end state. Like I've heard Abraham Hicks joke about how when you have nothing to do or make or be or, have or whatever, you'll be dead. Like you can be content in the moment, but we are works unfolding. I read when I was in my teens, I think the Chicken Soup series, Chicken Soup for the Soul, how, your inbox will never fully empty. So it's that kind of idea that this isn't designed to say, I'm going to do this to achieve this behavior, and I'm going to turn it into a productivity exercise. It's not really meant to be that. So it's really just to help you love on yourself a little bit differently. So take that for what you will. But this book has some great outlining, like it has some great communication outlines in it. And they can be prompts or ways that you can improve your relationships. But when I was in my 20s, I started to read relationship books, not from the perspective of, I want to improve a relationship or work on it, though I think that is important. I started to read them in terms of getting a better vocabulary of loving myself and working through some very, hard things that happened when I was a kid. So it was really about looking at that, inner child or shadow, whatever you want to call it. Whenever we do affirmations, there's a whom. We are talking to someone or something or some part of us when we do them. And I think that whom, that part of us, is the person and, or place or energy or space that we can have better conversations with. So with that being said, I'll use some examples so you can get the book if you want to, or you can take your own spin on this and take it in whatever direction you want. But I put some highlights, little things in there to kind of showcase the best ones that would be a good example. So one of them, I'll show you how it looks here. So there's the page here, but then this is the breakdown of it. So I know I'm being defensive. Can you say this in a less charged way so I can feel safe with you? Think about this not in terms of saying it to a person, but saying it to how you're thinking of yourself really unkindly in a specific moment. Just stopping for a moment when you're looking in the mirror and being like, ugh, at different things that you're like, oh, my hair is doing this today, or I need this to look different, or oh, my shirt, I got toothpaste on it, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm so like that. In those moments, it's really important to have the self-awareness of how you're feeling and to pull back for a second and say, ooh, I'm being really unkind. I'm being really unkind to me. And, I know I'm being defensive. Can you say this in a less charged way so I can feel safe with you? It would change the conversation that you can have with yourself, because instead of saying, oh, all of these things are lacking and this is just that kind of day again, you can pull that back a little bit and say, you know, I'm feeling really rushed and that leaves me feeling really stressed. So when I see toothpaste on my t-shirt, I'm not thinking about the fact that people will think I'm a slob. I'm thinking about the fact that I'm frustrated that I didn't leave myself enough time, or that, you know, my hair is doing this thing where I don't know. I hope that this is making sense. It gives you a kind of a gateway to talk to yourself better and more fulsomely. Another example, I'll pull this up here. This one, again, very similar concept. I don't know if it's going to actually focus. There we go. There's something really important I need to say to you, and I would like you to truly listen, not react, at least for 5 minutes anyway. If we said this to ourselves in the moments where we feel overwhelmed or stressed, and actually listened to what our inner child or inner self or higher self is saying to us, we may find that things that would typically block us can kind of shift slightly. So I'll read it again. There's something really important I need to say to you, and I would like you to truly listen, not react, at least for 5 minutes anyway. I feel like when you listen to your inner child like that, and you really let in what you at your core are trying to say in moments where you feel stressed or overwhelmed, and take it out on yourself, that's kind of a game changer. It allows you to transmute energy, really. And people might be like, oh, whoa, that's no, like that's what this channel is about anyway, so deal with it. But transmuting energy in terms of, my emotion is this thing and it's not helping me, and I know that, and it's not serving me, so I am looking at it from a completely different perspective to change it so that it doesn't keep coming up, right? So being able to truly listen to yourself and what you need for those 5 minutes, at least just 5, set a timer, and then have that, you know, moment with yourself. What am I needing right now? And listen, you know, and sometimes if it's just being mad, if you just need to be mad about something, sometimes that's all you need. But don't take it out on other people. Don't, you know, direct it outward without first reflecting on what it means to you, right? And then another one, all I'm feeling right now is your position. I need you to come back so I can relate to you, not your position. These are just examples, okay? So I'll read it again. All I'm feeling right now is your position. I need you to come back so I can relate to you, not your position. This can come up when we're feeling defensive about something and we don't necessarily know where to go, right? Sometimes we feel defensive when we're doing any kind of work or art because we're worried about what people will think and all of this stuff. Well, we're taking a position, we're taking a stance, and we're digging our heels in. And that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good because it sort of pushes away the ability for the emotion to flow through you, number one. Number two, it stops you from really being able to see the bigger picture of where you are, right? So I think that that one's really important too. Now, I hope that this is kind of making sense in the context of the overall quality of conversation, because this is addressing things that affirmations don't necessarily do, right? Affirmations can kind of, and they've gotten a bad rap. I do think that they are helpful, that they are good. I think that they've gotten a bad rap because it's kind of been like the insta therapy watered down version of I'm doing shadow work by saying these things. And I'm not saying shadow work like, I think it's, to me, it's interesting how it's kind of become like a marketable thing to throw affirmations on it, right? And it becomes a bit of a band-aid when you're not doing the actual work to shift the situation, and you're just going through these reactions to moods that you have. So you're doing this all the time, right? Instead of saying, this is how I want to feel, and I'm going to work to understand all of the things that are happening around that at a deeper level. And also, just a side note, if you need to work with a professional while you do these things, do it. Don't do it in isolation. Don't do it in a silo. Don't do that stuff if you do need help, professionally speaking. There's nothing wrong with it. That's why they exist, right? So access that help if you need it. And don't replace this with that expert advice. This is stuff that's helped me while I've gone through my journey with experts at different times. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, I think that this is such a huge, huge topic. So I think it's important, whatever way that you do it, to really sink your teeth into, well, I guess sink your heart into, sink your heart into it. Sink your heart into exploring the ways that you have conversations with yourself that may create different blocks for you. And who knows, you can even paint it out. You don't even have to like write these things out. You don't even have to journal them. putting it out there, painting how these things come about and how we can communicate with ourselves. Now, the block piece, I found it to be transformative of blocks because I was deeply afraid of putting work into the world, for a variety of different reasons. But these exercises have gradually helped me to come out of my shell and to really realize that, like, it's not that scary on the other side. Like, it's nerve-wracking to put stuff out there like this, but it's not like world ending. And it can feel that way sometimes. So these are things that have helped me, and maybe they'll help you kind of shift some blocks or just get some new ideas, let the creative juices flow, and having a little bit more fun with what you're doing. And I think that one of the things that I've found, at least with this, is that when these things apply to your work, they also help to improve other things like relationships, friendships, and communicating through that. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to share this with you because I thought that it was pretty transformative for me. So maybe it will do the same thing for you. If it does, or you're excited about it, or you have another idea that you want me to feature here, I will cite you. So if you have an idea that you want me to feature or talk about, again, description below has all the social links. You can reach me by message there or on my website, www.iamintothe.infinite.com, and go to the contact page and fill that out there. And I am excited to interact with you. And I'm also really grateful that you're here again. So thank you for your time and your eyes, and I will see you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody.